समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. You start with verse 5. क्लेशो अधिकतरस्तेषाम् अव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखं देहवद्भिरवाप्यते. Greater is their trouble whose minds are set on the unmanifested. For the goal, the unmanifested, is very hard for the embodied to reach. Now, this is a verse which comes under a whole lot of misinterpretation, and misinterpretation by scholars as well as people who criticize Hinduism as well as Pandits. Now, then, here, look what it says. Why it is so? Greater is their trouble whose minds are set on the unmanifested. That means it is much troublesome to contemplate on the unmanifested. He says they go into trouble. Okay, what else? For the goal, the unmanifested, that means that goal which is called the unmanifested is very hard for the embodied to reach. Now the criticism is on the word embodied. Trouble bhi chalo theek hai. Anybody who is meditating on the supreme truth and the truth which is unmanifest, like there's no sagun upasana, nahi, nirgun. Now all that is conceptual ideas, and they are difficult for most people to understand. You need a very, very sharp mind, not only just a sharp mind, but a pure mind, a mind with no agitations in it, and a very, very stable, equipoised intellect and mind. So, just like in higher education, why are students less? Students are less because the courses get more and more difficult and abstract. That is why the courses are less. And many drop out after school, a whole lot drop out after graduation, post graduation, and research work, and all. There are very few people. The reason is this, that it's very difficult for them to grasp. Okay, but here he says, great, I'll read it again. Greater is their trouble whose minds are set on the unmanifested. That means who want to contemplate or meditate on the unmanifested, they find it very, very troublesome. For the goal, the unmanifested, is very hard for the embodied to reach. So the criticism comes on the this word, embodied. See, so what is it? What does this verse mean? People quote this verse to say कि गीता में ही लिखा हुआ है कि आप निर्गुण पे तो उपासना करिए ही मत, निर्गुण को ध्याइए नहीं. Don't meditate on the nirguna aspect of the Lord, just meditate on the saguna aspect. But that is not what this verse means. It is only trying to tell you that this is a little difficult for people, for the general lot of people. Now, the word embodied. He says embodied, that it is, see, they are condemning meditation on the formless, fine. This verse does not condemn it. What it is saying is that if you condemn meditation on the supreme truth, then you are even denying the Upanishad dictums. Upanishads, all Upanishads have defined truth in these very terms. that we have just done in the last few verses. But if you cannot even meditate on those, how do you reach the higher truth? So this is very erroneous. This is not right what they are trying to say. This is not what the Gita is doing. The Gita, and people champion bhakti. People all vouch for bhakti. कि भक्ति से तो आप पहुंच सकते हैं और इस पे मेडिटेशन से नहीं पहुंच सकते. It almost amounts to saying that till such time that you have a body, you cannot meditate on the formless. So when should you meditate? When you are dead? When you have given up the body? Is that what the verse means? That is illogical. It is totally illogical. Think about it. How can a Gita verse, after enumerating all the qualities of the formless, talking of it as the highest, saying that those who can control their mind and meditate on this, they reach me. After saying all that, then they say this, that you can only meditate after you are dead, or you have no body, after, only then you can meditate. It is ridiculous to think like that. It only means that those people who are too sharply body oriented, those people who are into sensuality, those people who spend all their time in the demands of the body, in fulfilling the demands of the body, they are not fit enough. They are not vehicles that can take the flight to the Supreme. Their mind is not fit enough to meditate. See, if all the time you are thinking, where can I get my next manicure done, and where can I get my next hairdo done, and where can I buy this sari, and where can I eat this, and where will I get this kind of coffee to drink? If you're all the time thinking of all this, how can you meditate on the Supreme? That too an abstract, totally unmanifest Supreme. Not possible. Therefore, the therefore the Gita advises you that withdraw the rays of your mind, concentrate on what you are thinking about. If you cannot withdraw your mind from material objects and body oriented objects, you cannot meditate. It's as simple as that. So it is not saying that when the seeker is dead, or when the body drops, only then you can meditate. That stands to reason. It is only that those who can win over maximum body demands. प्लीज थिंक अबाउट इट. आप सुबह से किसकी पूजा करते हैं? सुबह से रात तक whom are you worshipping? हाँ, body. Having a bath, cleansing the whole body, cooking food for the body, eating, digesting, sleeping, dressing up. All this is what? Body. It is body की पूजा, isn't it? हाँ, आप उसमें सब नैवेद्य चढ़ा रहे हैं, जल चढ़ा रहे हैं. You want to drink water. Tell me, if you don't get water nearby, then what is your mind working on the whole time? Water, water, water. Where can I get water from? Isn't it? So, please think that how many hours a day do you spend on body worship, body demands? And clean, neat body, healthy body is fine. But when you spend your maximum time on the body, nobody is saying don't look after the body. Body is the vehicle for you to meditate. But if you are constantly looking after only the body, where do you meditate? And that too on the abstract? वो तो सवाल ही नहीं है. It's not possible. So unless and until you make that equipment fit enough to meditate on the Supreme, you cannot meditate on the Supreme. So here, that is all that this verse is saying. It is not saying that you cannot, so long as you have the body, you cannot meditate. That is not what it is saying. Also, it is not saying that it is full of troubles. It is full of troubles for those people who are body oriented, isn't it? हाँ, लोग क्या करते हैं, वो मेडिटेट करना है, ओहो हो, अच्छा मैं जल्दी से करके आता हूँ. हैव यू हर्ड दैट? यू मस्ट हैव हर्ड इट. मैं जल्दी से मेडिटेट करके आता. नाउ जल्दी से मेडिटेट आप कैसे कर सकते हैं? You cannot. It takes you a while even to draw the mind from the outer world and to contemplate inner, the inner. When you minus all the sheaths of the body, आप पांच कोश माइनस करें तभी तो आप अंदर जाएंगे. उसमें क्या जल्दी से कैसे हो सकता है? People are stupid enough to tell me that हम तो golf is a meditation for us. Golf is a meditation. What are you meditating on? The ball. And on which hole the ball should be hit and it should reach. That is your meditation. Some people say that when we are walking, we meditate. हम तो कार में ऑफिस जाते जाते जप कर लेते हैं. जब आप कुछ नहीं कर लेते हैं, योर आईज आर ओपन, यू आर लुकिंग ऑल राउंड, कौन सी दुकान खुली है, कौन सी बंद है, ट्रैफिक बहुत है, पीछे से हॉर्न बज रहा है, आगे से. व्हाट काइंड ऑफ मेडिटेशन? आई मीन this is ridiculing the whole thing. You cannot, it's not possible. Meditation is a very subtle art, extremely subtle art, got with a lot of discipline and with a lot of practice. Years and years of meditational practice can only give you this. So that is all that the verse is saying. Now, now in this chapter, as it is written over here, that there are prescriptions given to make the mind meditation worthy, so that the mind is capable of meditating even on the sagun. People are not able to meditate even on the sagun, believe me. Now see these two verses we do together. ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्पराः अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषामहं समुद्धर्ता मृत्युसंसारसागरात् भवामि न चिरात् पार्थ मय्यावेशितचेतसाम्. It says, but those who worship me, renouncing all actions in me, regarding me as the supreme goal, meditating on me with single minded yoga, for them whose minds are set on me, verily I become ere long, O Partha, the savior out of the ocean of finite experiences, the sansara. The finite is very difficult. The infinite is very difficult to be reached by the finite. Carefully think about it. The instrument is not capable enough. So you have to make it capable enough for it to be. See, no matter how hard you try, but Gurudev used to say that ultimately, in the last phases of meditation, the Lord Himself pulls you towards Him. Pulls you towards Him. You can make self effort only up to a certain degree, and that self effort definitely belongs to you. You have to, and they are giving pointers and giving you, the Lord Himself is telling you what all you should do. Now He gives you 4 steps. The first step, ye dekhiye in this verse, the first step is by those who worship me. ठीक है ना, translation देखना. Those who worship me. Okay, the point number 1 taken. Renouncing all actions in me. This is karma yoga. That means whatever action you do, whether you are cooking, whether you are serving the family, or whether you are bringing up children, or whether you are doing a profession, or whether you're doing a job or whatever you're doing, surrender all that work to the Lord. That itself becomes puja. It is the attitude of the mind that determines what is puja and what is not puja. खाली फूल चढ़ाना, अगरबत्ती जलाना, ये करना, that is not puja, because your mind is in circles all over the place. Puja is this, that you, he says, with your mind, you renouncing all actions in me, with your me, regarding me as the supreme goal. This also, हमारा supreme goal क्या है? More money, better house, slightly bigger car than the neighbor. These are the supreme goals. Imagine people have these goals, that somebody or the other, they always see higher than them. You will always see, and you want to show them one better, that I am one higher than you. What are you achieving except fattening the ego? And the ego will sting you. Sooner or later, you will see somebody better than you, or you will see somebody criticizing you. What do you gain? So here it is, that see, renouncing all actions in me, that means you do not even think that I am the doer. Please remember, you are not. So no matter what you achieve, no matter what you do, how best you do it, it is He and He alone. And with this thought, if you work, then that becomes puja. Then he says, with me as the supreme goal, and there is no compromise on this. You have to be very clear about your goal. What is your goal? Because your whole body, mind, intellect will keep working towards that goal only. So if your goal is only getting more money, or living a more comfortable lifestyle, or rising in power or status, then so be it. There is no place over there for the Lord. There is no place for the Lord over there. So he says the supreme goal should be very clear in your mind. And what this is the third. Now, meditating on me with single minded yoga. So when your goal is straight and fixed in your mind, you are meditating only on him. And for them whose minds are set on me, minds that are set on me, देखो, that is mind that are fixed on just the Lord, the Lord, the Lord. I want only him, I don't want anything else in the world. वो उपनिषद वाली कहानी, I have told you maybe before also, and I am repeating it, that it's a typical story where a child in a fair, mela, who's demanding balloons and toys and sweets and all from his mother, and somewhere or the other the child leaves the hand of the parents and gets lost. Once the child gets lost, he's he wants his mother, and he's crying only for the mother. So the people who see that child, they try to make quieten him down by offering him the same things he was crying for before: balloons, chocolates, toys. But he throws them all. He says, I don't want these, I only want my mother. So, this is the thing about a seeker, that when a seeker rejects all the sensuous pleasures of the world, he does not see any meaning in them. His only one goal is the Supreme Lord. At that time alone, only, that he goes. So he says, O Partha, when that kind of situation comes, then the fourth thing he does himself. What is the fourth thing? O Partha, I become the savior. He says he pulls you to him. He makes that effort and he facilitates you to come to him. Okay? So some people, some Mahatmas say that all the suffering that you get in your life is the Lord's way of making you Leave that and look towards me. Leave that and look towards me. You know, he says कि उसका हाथ पकड़ो जो छोड़े नहीं, बाकी सब दुनिया फरेबी है, उसका हाथ पकड़ो जो छोड़े नहीं आपका हाथ, you know. So the devotee has to be totally surrendered at the Lord's feet and totally wanting only him. देखो, जब हम उपासना करते हैं या पूजा करते हैं, or we go to the temple, do we go for him or do we go for what we want? Honestly, think carefully. Each one of us, the moment we face the Lord, some desire pops up in our mind. Oh Lord, please do this. We are very grateful, very happy with all that you have done, but please, Lord, just do this also for me. Isn't that so? Each one of us goes there and begs for ourselves rather than we don't want him. वो तो वहां खड़े ही हैं ऐसे हाथ करके, है ना? You will find him every day standing there. That's what we think. But if he has the power to give, please let him not give himself to us. We want what we want. Think about it. Huh? So here he says that somebody who has only one goal, and that is me, I myself save him from the up and down of the world, from the sorrows and joys of the world, and I pull him to me. So it is only through your own activities, your own thinking, your own efforts that you can go up to stage 3. And stage 4, he himself pulls you out from there. And here he is giving you a divine assurance. What is the divine assurance? That I myself become the savior of such an individual. I save him from all troubles. ये देखो किस चीज से बचाते हैं? भवा में नचिरात पार्थ मैया वेशित चेतसाम. He said that, O Partha, I become the savior out of the ocean of finite experiences. He saves you from finite experiences. What are the finite experiences? One moment you have it, the other moment you don't have it. One moment you find joy in a certain thing, the other moment you want to kick it away, isn't it? How many marriages are breaking today? Have you seen? One moment they want it, the after another few years they want to throw it away. The home that they had gone to so lovingly, they want to reject. Isn't that happening? So these are what is called finite experiences. The joy in the thing where you imagined joy to be is not there. Is not there. So you are looking for joy and happiness somewhere where it is not. Gurudev's typical example, he used to say, if you go on churning sand, if you go on churning sand for years and years, do you think you will get butter from there? Butter is only in milk, it is not in sand. So if you're looking, churning sand for butter, where will you get it? You will never get it. Gurudev used to say this with a lot of force, that you are looking for joy where it is not. And this is what he's saying, that if you have me as the goal, then ultimately I will save you from these finite experiences. And I am giving you an assurance, I am giving you a divine guarantee. He's giving you a guarantee. What more can you want than a promise from the Lord? This is an assurance from the Lord, a promise from the Lord कि मेरे भरोसे आ जाओ, मैं तुम्हारा उद्धार करूंगा. I will save you. But we don't believe it. We only feel that somebody who has a lot of money and riches can save us, somebody with a lot of power can save us, somebody, they themselves are beggars at the door of the Lord. They are themselves begging for things. What are you talking? So here it is, love him and love him alone is the message of there. And then fix your mind directly on him. And now over here, see, Dekho, Gurudev has written a beautiful sentence. He writes, bondage and liberation are both in the mind alone. सोच के देखो. If you think you are tied, you are tied. If you think you are free, you are free. People can only imprison the body. Nobody can imprison the mind. No one can imprison the mind. The reach of the mind is so subtle and the reach of the mind is so vast. Who can imprison the mind? Come to the next verse. मय्येव मन आधस्त्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवसिष्येसि मय्येव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः. Fix thy mind on me only. Underline this word only. This is what is important. Fix thy mind on me only. Generally, the mind of the common man is all over the place except the Lord. Even when he is sitting in front of the Lord, in his puja room, the Lord's image is there right in front of him. And he is sitting looking at that image. Yet, where is his mind? Where is his mind? Gurudev used to say his mind is that Ram, 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 that Ram Rao, he had borrowed 5 rupees from me years back, which he has never given till now. I wonder where he is and where can I find him to get that 5 rupees. So Ram, Ram has gone to Rama Rao, from whom you borrowed who borrowed 5 rupees from you, isn't it? The mind has this chain of thinking. Unless you have the power to control the mind, bring the mind under your grip and focus the mind, fix the mind on him alone. See, he says, fix thy mind on me only. Now, he says that this, ये जो आदेश है, ये आदेश is for people who are very high in the class. They are people with only 20% vasanas. उनके लिए ये कहा है. Now see, he will slowly bring the standard down. He will slowly tell you, अगर 20% vasanas हैं तो आप ये करिए, 40% vasanas, do this, 80% vasanas, do this. And if you are full of vasanas, then what upasana you should do, that also he'll tell you. So the highest meditation on the unmanifest is not for everybody. The Geeta very categorically is saying that to you. And it doesn't say that you can never do it. It says you have to go class by class. See, a child in the Montessori or class 1 can never sit in class 12. He will understand nothing. Isn't it? All subjects will be futile for him. He can keep sitting in the class and wasting his time. The same happens to a meditator whose mind is not prepared. Now, over here, see. See, the way you have to believe is because masters over the years, over centuries, over millennium have taught these things. And therefore, no matter however intelligent a dreamer may be, Gurudev used to say, no matter how much intelligent a dreamer may be, he cannot understand the world of the waker. The levels are different. There are two different stages of consciousness. There is no way to smuggle a dreamer into the waking stage or bring the waker into the dream state. You cannot. Contemplation on the highest is a very later stage of a very a very developed seeker. You can't straight by a 3-day workshop start meditating on the supreme unmanifest. You cannot. So he is giving you over here what he's given you, that fix thy mind on me only, place thy intellect in me, and then you shall no doubt live in me alone. Now, live in me alone. This is for the person who has only 20% vasana pressure. That very quickly his vasanas are satisfied, and thereafter the mind is purified. There are no desires jumping about and lashing him into activity. At that time, a man should do this. That is what he is saying. So, meditation technique is being beautifully explained in this verse. Not only in this verse, but he goes on explaining it further. And the teacher over here is going to offer you four different stages, for different sets of people whose minds are purer, a little less purer, then gross and more gross. So Gita has hope for everybody. Gita doesn't say that yehi karo, nahi to you are gone. It never says that. It says no matter how gross your mind is, you can still go higher. The Lord's promise stands for everybody, provided you yourself make the self effort. So it is not just one way, one path, all other religions are wrong and bad. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. The Gita never says that. So here it is. What is the easy way? Fix the mind on me alone. See, on me alone, even if you control all the senses and try to fix the mind on the Lord and sit at the feet of the Lord, bring all your thoughts, harness your thoughts, control your thoughts, and put them at the feet of the Lord. That is the technique, that is the effort, and that is the easy way. Now, see, a person whose mind is very highly purified or a mind that is highly intellectual, he is not satisfied with the physical form of the Lord. He has to go higher and he needs to go higher. And that hunger in him to know the Supreme, to know the cause of things, to know why certain things happen, why not like this, why this. The person who asks questions, a person, he needs a higher method. So, placing the intellect into me, he says, it is not just objectively, but subjectively. Subjectively place the intellect into me and contact the total cosmic intellect. Try to contact the total cosmic intellect. Expand your mind. Hiranyagarbha is the technical term. Try to connect with the Hiranyagarbha. Expand your mind to embrace all beings. This is not for everybody, huh? This verse is for people with very little vasana, 20% vasanas. Okay? Now, so the mind takes the form of whatever it concentrates on. Your mind will be full of that alone. The mind will be colored by that alone, what you go on thinking about. And therefore, the importance of japa. When you do japa, then your mind is again and again reminded, even if it wanders, it is again and again reminded that what are you doing? Are you remembering the Lord or are you doing a mechanical action? You know? That is the importance of japa. So all the technicalities of japa you know. Maybe I explained it or some other teacher may have explained it, you know. तो वो तो अलग बात है. But even remembering the name of the Lord as you turn your beads will bring your mind again and again back again onto this. Okay? So whatever we feel, whatever we think about, that colors our mind completely, and it becomes easier for you to fix your mind on him, and therefore to take the mind inside also. Hmm. Now this next verse we will do next time. This verse is for those who have just 40% vasanas left. Gurudev used to say that this verse gives you the technique of upasana or meditation for people who have 40% vasana, a little more than 20%. So we will do it next time. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.